All right. Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, our interview series with your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
the Guru. But why you come here is for the fighter interviews. And we've got a special guest in the building here today, making his UFC debut very soon, actually. We're going to talk about that November. We've got Tough 29 finalist, Bam Bam, Brady Hiestand. What's going on, bud?
Good. How's it going, guys?
fantastic. So happy to have you on.
Always good to hang out with you, man. That's fucking awesome. Thanks so much for giving us your time, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here.
So
Yes.
What brings you here, right, is a pretty sick fight announcement. We'll get right to the chase. November 19th, right?
Yep. November 19th down in Vegas. I'm fighting Fernie Garcia.
Very cool.
It's going to be his second UFC fight, and then it's going to be my UFC debut. So I'm pretty excited for this.
That's awesome.
Is there anything specifically about the matchup that maybe excites you?
I like the matchup because, I feel like it's a good matchup for both of us just because I feel like we both have decent names, for being so new to the sport. I like the matchup. He's a good boxer, so he's going to be able to, strike with me. I see he has a lot of submission wins on his record, so he seems like a good, well-rounded fighter, but I think he's going to, beating this guy is going to really elevate my name in the organization. So I'm excited to put on a show and show everyone how my striking's improved. And, I feel like everyone already knows how good my grappling is, but I want to show how good my striking's got.
All right, awesome. I mean, how do you see this matchup playing out?
It can go a few different ways. I see myself winning. I feel really confident going in this one. I see myself, maybe picking him apart from, the outside or, coming through and getting a takedown and submitting him on the ground. It just depends on how the fight goes and what version of Fernie I get.
Right. No, that makes sense because Fernie's a guy that really does like to mix it up. He's got a very interesting boxing style as well, which kind of brings us to maybe even your last fight, right, with Ricky Tercios, right? A dog fight, man. But I mean, that fight should have been fight of the night. That fight was fucking sick.
So we got an unofficial fight of the night,
right?
And so they posted it. We didn't get the $50K bonus, but we got a post for official, like a fight of the night. So yeah, if I don't see any other fight in the card getting fight of the night besides ours. Yeah, but it was a war.
That's gonna be a fucking exciting one.
Shout out to Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky's a fucking dog, man. He's a savage. Was there anything like specific in that matchup like that you didn't maybe expect, or like did he like kind of pull you into something? Like, because I know you were dealing with an injury right in that matchup. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I'll answer the first question. So I expected that much. Like me and my team expected him. Ricky's a tough dude, and he'll just keep coming forward, and he won't stop. And he doesn't have like the most power, and I wasn't ever worried about getting finished. I did get caught in the third round, but I wasn't super like expecting a finish or anything. I just knew that I had to be in shape and I'd be ready to go 3 rounds because he's durable and he has cardio for days. So that's I didn't expect anything differently. But yeah, that's kind of a fight I was expecting. I was and going into that fight, like you were saying, I had a torn ACL and torn meniscus and partially torn MCL. And so funny thing is I actually had that the whole TV show. And so I tore it the first week on the show. So I fought all 3 of my fights without the ACL.
You're a fucking animal, dude. What the fuck?
Wow.
Who does that? Who does that? You're crazy.
It happened the first week. Do you remember specifically? Like, was it an acute injury, or did it just do you not even remember how it happened specifically?
No, the reason why I know it was torn because I didn't tell anybody on the show because, going into the show, I watched obviously my teammates Juliana Pena's and Mike Hiestan's season, and I remember I was like, there's a guy on Juliana Pena's season who got in but had a torn hamstring, so they had to kick him out of the house, and I was like, that sucks. That would be the worst thing ever. And so I remember the first week I was in the house before any of the fights even got off. I was training with one of the assistant coaches. He was a 21-year-old super cool guy. It wasn't his fault. I'm not blaming him. His name was Colby Thickness, but we were grappling and we were actually just flowing, and my foot got caught in the mat. Like I planted, and at the same time my planet, he went to sweep me. And so my whole body went, but my foot stayed.
Geez. Brady, we're losing you a little bit, bud. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Brady, it's cutting up a little bit.
Brady, we lost you a little bit there, maybe with the wind.
Yeah.
Might be the signal, it might be the wind. We're losing you a little bit. He was going for a sweep.
It's okay. He's
And
gonna.
now the wind has now swept Brady off of his feet. Hopefully, we can get him back in the
That's
chat.
all right.
Here.
We'll get him back in there. I know he'll be back.
Bam, man. There he is.
All right.
Oh, coming back. He'll be here in a second.
Yeah, getting closer to that Wi-Fi.
Guys, if you're here now, if you're listening, make sure you're checking out at Brady Hiestand 1 on Twitter. I believe that's his Instagram as well. Kind of hard to mistake the one and old Brady Hiestand. Make sure you check us out tonight, 9 p.m. We'll be going live with Lucrative MMA. Is Brady trying to talk to us, or did he get taken by robots?
Yeah,
I think Brady can defend himself against robots. I'm not worried about him. It's just like if there's a lot of robots, he might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, how many robots do you think it would take to take down Brady Hiestand? Like well-trained fighting robots.
At least 5.
I was thinking at least 5 because the size of these robots, they have to be, at least 2-3 feet big. Do we have Brady?
Oh man, yeah, still no video.
He's still battling the robots. Maybe try rebooting maybe your phone or whatever you're on, Mr. Brady, your browser even.
Okay, how about?
Oh, we're starting to. The signals are coming in. He seems to have fought off some of the robots. I'm gonna remove him here real quick and then bring it back and.
Dang.
All right, so we got the video back. The audio was a little, but he's reversing out. Going to come back in. I think we may have gotten what we needed to fix. So Brady Hiestand is going to be coming right back in. We're going to get this all figured out. Brady Hiestand. Oh man.
Yeah, he's Hiestand. We probably could. That.
We'll get clarification. So yeah, but so far so good. I mean, this is going great so far. We're learning a lot about Brady on the Tough House so far. He let us know. Yeah, such an awesome down to earth dude. And also he went in the first week on the Tough House and tore his ACL, meniscus, and a partial tears of his MCL. And like he was talking about, he couldn't really plant on anything. And when he was throwing, he wasn't able to really like commit on the feet. So, now.
Hey guys.
Hey,
there he is.
How's it sound now?
Much better. Dude, how was that battle with those robots, man? How many of those did you take out? We were guessing between 5 and 7.
Dude, it's actually just one big Francis Ngannou sized motherfucker.
Wow. Well, hey man, we knew that you had it all handled.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got a little closer to the Wi-Fi, so I think it's gonna be better now.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Sorry to kill your. Where are you, by the way? The view outside was very nice.
So actually, I bought a house right after the Ricky fight, and so I'm here at my house. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's amazing. Mazel tov, as we like to say out here.
Thank you. I've been saving up ever since I was like 18, 19. I knew that was like one of my goals. I had a few goals. UFC was one of them. Buy a house was another. So, Tough gave me both those.
That's amazing, dude. Congratulations. That's serious. And you're out in Washington, right?
Yep, Spokane, Washington.
Can't take you out, man. I love that. That's awesome.
No, for sure. Loyal to the soil.
Would you say that some of that?
If he's a Seahawks fan. Sorry, I gotta go on the Washington train real quick. You Seahawks fan?
1,000%. You gotta represent where you're from.
How do you feel about like playing Russell? Is this week, right? You're playing Russell this week.
Yeah, I know that's weird. I'm not the biggest football fan, but I do follow it a little bit. But yeah, that is that is so whack. I don't know why they got rid of him. I feel like he was our star player. I'm like, what the fuck? He's our guy, and you got rid of him. But
yeah, you guys are the Seahawks are in a bit of a rebuild. So like part of that rebuild is like you kind of are like he's in his prime. Like he really wants to win now. So he kind of went to a team that hopefully can do that, at least for him.
Which is good for him, not good for us, but
So what do you like to do? Would you watch sports? Do you like any sports, or is it just fighting for you?
there's so much MMA out there now. I feel like, we got Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday night, and then we got, weekends, and then we had the Ultimate Fighter. So there was just so much, MMA content out. I was mostly watching that. And, other than that, I don't watch a lot of TV. I listen to a lot of music. I go out, I get outside. I like to go hiking, hanging out with the boys, go play some volleyball sometimes, just stay active.
So no to the TV, but what music do you listen to? That's like super important.
Dude, that's all over the place. I vibe with some EDM, especially when I'm working out, kind of get the blood pumping. And then
you must have been listening to some. That's why the computer robot came, because he heard his calling.
That must have been it. They were hacking me. But then other than that, I like to listen to rap, hip hop, like J. Cole and that kind of genre. And even I like some old metal too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like some Slayer? Like, is that old metal? Is that considered metal even? Yeah, probably.
I think that's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy metal. I like some of that, some AC/DC, Metallica, all that stuff.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So you said you took a lot of stuff out of Tough, financially, everything like that. How about the coaching that you got from, the champ there? I mean, what do you think you took away from kind of a technique and building your own, level as a fighter from working on Tough?
Yeah, so I think working with Volk, we were only there for 6 weeks. So I got a lot of good, striking content and stuff like that, just being able to move on my feet, because I was such a grappler going in. Mm-hmm. And, I'd been striking and I was getting better and better and better, but it was just seeing how he moved was super, super eye-opening, because he was always in stance, always ready. He was never off balance, and he always had crisp combinations. So that was cool to see. But the main thing I think I took away from him was the fact that how he was as a person, how he interacted with his team, how he trained, his attitude. Because dude, him and his team are so tight. The Aussies like to banter back and forth and talk shit and all this stuff, but you could tell that they were brothers, and they were all for each other. If someone needs something, they were down with it. If any of us needed anything, the whole team got together and helped us out. So having seeing a championship team work like that was pretty cool. And I liked how you could bring that back to my team. Also, it was just he was so positive all the time. He was training, because he was getting ready for a fight too. So he would be training, he would have a session before our practice, and then a full session by himself, and then he would come and train with us. And he was in there, working with us. For my second fight with Vincent, he was my main partner. The whole entire week leading up to fighting Vincent, I was just working with Volk, because they were the same size. And so he was letting me beat him up and choke him out and all this stuff. And so being around, seeing that, I think that was the biggest takeaway I got from it. Just seeing how how the mindset and how a championship team works.
Yeah, cool. His the quality of his character seems to really shine through, at least as a fan, right? And somebody that enjoys the product. But to hear that kind of in the behind the scenes, that he's that same way or even more so, is just that's so fucking awesome to hear.
Yeah, I think Tough was the best thing that could happen to Volk. Or not the best thing, but one of the best things for his career, because people got to see how he was as a person.
Right.
And, be going into it, I feel he didn't have as much hype around him, but after everyone would, saw the show, they fell in love with Volk, kind of how everyone else does around him.
Yeah, I mean, it can't. I kind of. I mean, it ran synonymously with the hype of Brian Ortega, and then also with his. His rise to being, now with Usman losing, literally the pound for pound best fighter on the planet right now. Yeah, so I think all those things are certainly working in his favor.
Yeah, it was just a perfect storm with everything. Him beating Brian, being on the show, Usman getting head kicked. Now he's the pound for pound champ. He's the man at the top of the mountain.
So speaking about mountains to climb, man, the rehab from that injury, how did that go for you?
Yeah, so like I said, I wasn't sure exactly what the injury was. I would be training and my knee would pop out, and in my fights, it would it would slide and I would lose balance and stuff. But I'd never had an injury, especially not knee injury, so I didn't know what the extent of was it. And so after the fight, I was in the back room, and my coach was like, "Yeah, go tell him that your knee's fucked up." And I was like, "Okay, I'll tell him." And so we went and got an MRI, and they're like, "Yeah, your ACL's torn, meniscus torn. You got a strain on your MCL." And I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Well, so what is this?" And so they, a month later, I went and got surgery, and they repaired my meniscus. And so the first 7 weeks, I couldn't even put any weight on my leg. So I was on crutches, just wheeling around, not doing anything, which sucked. And I was like, I would make my brother take me to the gym, and we'd like lift.
Right.
I don't even lift that much, but we'd go lift because I was so bored.
Yeah.
And so that was tough. And then after that, it was, the ACL is such a long recovery. Like, you're not even, like, the ACL itself isn't fully healed for like 6 to 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they don't even want you to go back to sport. Like, they don't say you're fully cleared at the earliest is 9 months.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't ready for that, just being out of the gym. I would go and watch practices, but not being able to train or anything like that. It was pretty shitty. I kind of broke some rules though. Like, once I got like 4 minutes in, like, I would grapple, but just not use my leg. And so I'd just be rolling around with some guys and just using my upper body. But yeah, it was mentally tough, but luckily I had a lot of good support around me. I had my mom, my brother, my friends, my family, my girlfriend, all that stuff. So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What do you think you learned about yourself the most in that time period where you had to, right? Like, you don't get to roll, right? You don't get to do the things you're used to doing. You're lifting because you're so bored, right? Like, and of course the mental fortitude to have to get through that injury coming off a tough loss.
Yeah. That was the hardest part, I think, is the fact that, like, I came off a loss and I couldn't go and get that back right away.
Right.
I had to wait all this time and just sit on this loss, and it was just, I'm just like, I should be out there. I'm seeing like Brian Battle. He was at like 3 fights going on a tear. Andre Petrosky's had 3 fights. Trayshawn's had 2. Even Ricky had 1 fight, even though he took a while to get back in there. And I'm just like seeing all these guys, and I'm like, that should be me out there fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, I had a lot of self-discovery. I think I reconnected with, training all the time. You kind of isolate yourself in a way, but I got to hang out with a lot more friends. I got to, hang out with my girlfriend. I got to spend more time with my family. So, there was a lot of upsides, and it actually gave me time to, buy a house, and I renovated it a little bit while I was out. And,
What'd you do?
So upstairs was disgusting. So I redid the flooring. I repainted,
Very nice.
redid the cabinets,
Hell yeah.
and then redid the trim, all that stuff. And so while I was out, I just kind of dinked around the house and fixed it up.
Of course. No,
Nice,
as you
nice.
should, man. It's your baby. That's your project, right? So that's a bunch of things I'm sure you want to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, now I'm like a crackhead around here. Like, I see something and I want to fix it right away. And I'm like, I hear like people talk about when they have a home and there's like never ending projects, and now I can see what they're talking about. I'm like, I see something that I'm like, I want to go fix that. And I'm like,
So that's what I'm gonna. So you win the Fernie fight. You got that win bonus check. What are we fixing in the house first? What's the next project?
Ooh, so I bought this house because the upstairs and downstairs, it's a pretty big house. It's like 2,500 square feet, but the upstairs and downstairs are identical, and the basement's not finished. And so I want to turn it into a duplex and add a bathroom and a kitchen in the basement.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Then
When we come out to Washington, we'll have somewhere to hang out and not bother you too much. Nothing too crazy.
Exactly. You could come in. You can stay in the basement.
Exactly.
I'll give you some room down there. How about that?
There we go.
Airbnb, Bam Bam style.
We love it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's good. But okay, so now important question here, because this is kind of a TB versus Guru type of deal. So my dog Bogey was just going crazy in the background, whereas Guru's cats will try to make an appearance on the podcast from here time to time. Bam Bam, are you a dog guy, a cat guy, both? Like, do you have any preferences as far as pets go?
I'm actually allergic to cats.
Oof.
So I'm a dog guy for sure, and I love dogs. I love dogs. Nothing against cats, they kind of be ornery, and the cool part is they do their own thing. But yeah, I love dogs for sure.
All right, score 1 for TB.
What's funny? I can picture you. Kind of seem like a dog guy, and you kind of seem like a cat dude. I can see it. Like, now that you say it, I can picture you guys being the
yeah,
nice. Okay,
that's so much more fit my personality of just like doing your own thing and like not needing so much from me at every second. But at the same time, my cat is literally right at the corner of my bed here sleeping. Like, he wants to be here with me, but like isn't bothering me though either. So it's like, it's perfect.
That is the upside of cats. Is they're way easier. You don't have
They
to go and
they really
pick up
can
their
be.
poop. They feed themselves, all that stuff.
Yeah, they really can be. I love my cats. I grew up with a dog though too. So when I have cats, people are like, "Why aren't you a dog? What's wrong with dogs?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong with dogs. I love dogs. I love dogs and I love babies, but I love other people's dogs and other people's babies." And then I hang out with them for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, and then I get to leave them where they are. It's fantastic.
I feel that, I feel the same way, especially with the babies. Like I like your baby, I'm just not into having my own. So
Well, right. All right. So your girlfriend, right? How long are you guys dating? Is that too weird to ask? That's not too weird to ask.
no, I don't think so. We've been dating for about 8 months now. I've known her since I was like 16. So we go way back. Yeah.
I was about to say she saw you on the show, man. It's like the celebrity guy on Fighter. He went after you, but at least you guys know each other for a while. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that helps a lot. It's like the fact that she didn't just like come out of nowhere because of the show. It's like I've known her forever. So
no, of course.
That's great, man.
That is awesome.
So, Guru, maybe you want to take us away on our final question here.
Final question. So, right. So you don't do too much sports watching, right? But do you do any maybe sports gambling, like, or I guess even on MMA gambling, or I guess even just casino type gambling?
No, I'm not a big gambler, but I do every once in a while. I'll gamble on a few fights here and there. You know, I haven't had a lot of success at the casinos, to be honest. Every time I go, it seems like I'm walking away with less than I walk in with.
Yo, wait, so am I mistaken, or I think I saw you, like, were you live tweeting during the last pay-per-view with the Usman and Edwards stuff? Am I correct about that?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Yeah, I think you might have like kind of called that, right? Or when you were kind of talking about the fight getting into the 5th round there, or something like that, or maybe you were just showing respect to Edwards. But I just remember you definitely are like a fan of the fights beyond just like being a fighter yourself, which is cool.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And well, and like you could see in the fight that like he was like trying to set something up. And you know, Edwards is always dangerous. He's never out of the fight. He has like some crisp ass striking, and so
yeah.
You know, he showed that obviously even late into he was in the final minute of the fight and he set up that head kick. But yeah, I'm always tweeting about the fights because I'm always watching them. You know, I might as well put my opinion out there and stuff like that.
Like, that's what we did. We were always watching them. We're like, we might as well put our opinion out there. And then all of a sudden we're talking to Bam Bam. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So,
and then you guys are cool because you guys give us a platform to talk about it.
Exactly. I mean, we love that, and we love having somebody like you on the show. I mean, it really means the world to us because you know we're just fans, just watching the show, and then all of a sudden we like talking about it, and then hey, why not talk to you guys? And it's I mean, it's been fantastic. There hasn't been one. You guys have all just been such nice people. It's been really fantastic.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the thing is you see you talk to fighters and most of them are pretty chill actually.
Yeah.
For people that get locked in a cage and beat each other up, you guys are very nice, like well-rounded, wholesome people. It's really awesome, and I think that's almost like the most important part. It's like it personifies you guys. It makes you're not just whatever animals, objects that just get into a ring and beat each other up. People that throw a ball into a hoop, like there's realness behind it, and I love that.
For sure.
Any final shout outs? You have any sponsors, any training partners, any people that are important to you you want to give a shout out to? You get the last word here, man, before we end the show. Yeah,
I guess just shout out to my team. You know, we got a few guys coming up. We got Ashton Charlton, Melissa, Maya, and we got, you know, Alvin. We got a bunch of guys killers coming out of the gym that aren't yet in the UFC, but they'll be there. And then obviously shout out to my mentors, Juliana Pena, Sam Cecilia, Mike Chiesa, all those guys. I wouldn't be where I am without them. And then head coach, the mastermind behind it all, Rick Little. So just want to give that shout out. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Yeah, seriously, thanks so much for your time, Brady. We'd love to have you back anytime, especially after your dub. So that'll work.
Yeah, reach out after this fight, and we'll get to talking.
Listen, you might go big time on us. You know those DMs will be popping. So we'll find our way. We'll find our way to you.
I always look through everyone. I like to respond to everybody. So nobody too small.
No,
you're the man.
I know, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Hey, take care, Brady. We're gonna end this show, and we'll catch you guys later tonight with our live breakdown for UFC 279.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Lucrative MMA. Going to be breaking down these fights and hopefully to cash a couple tickets. So,
oh yeah, all right.
Stay tuned.